Students do think that all the deployments are going to be exciting and glamorous like they are in the movies.
A mundane or more boring deployment could basically consist of you flying on an AC-130 for the duration of the 60 to 90-day deployment and maybe never actually engaging the enemy.
There's a lot of miscommunication on what this job is, and the easiest way to say it is you're gonna be a gunner. But that's a very small set of what we do as a special missions aviator. It's a combination of being a flight engineer and being someone who just so happens to fire weapons. So a lot of people really don't understand you're gonna be doing a lot more than just pulling a trigger.
A lot of our technical training students do have a hard time staying ahead of the aircraft, and staying ahead of the aircraft means knowing what's about to come up and being prepared for it. A lot of the time, students will wait until that moment to gather a piece of information or perform a task, and then by that time it's too late and they're already falling behind the aircraft again.
During the early phases of technical training, the most stress that they're going to have with multitasking will usually come from some of the time management principles. When they get further on into initial qualification training, the multitasking becomes even bigger because now we're asking them to do several different things on the aircraft.
When you are on an H-60 and you are dealing with multiple radios going off, you have teams in the back that are constantly talking to you or patients in the back. When you're flying at night, when you're low level and it's dark, when you're flying in enemy territory, you might have individuals shooting at you and you're having to scan and you're having to figure out what the next objective is in the mission or what the next step is. Being able to balance all of those things out are necessary.
Some of our trainees do struggle learning aircraft systems. Nowadays we have very sophisticated aircraft, and with that comes sophisticated aircraft systems. So students need to make sure that they are putting in as much time as possible into studying.
Some of the different aircraft systems that the students will get very familiar with will be aircraft hydraulics, aircraft fuel systems, flight controls, some of the electronic systems within the aircraft as the aircraft become more modernized, strapping down and tying down cargo, or the aircraft weapon systems themselves.
Students who don't put the time in to study, who don't put the time in to understand their airframe, understand the tactical and the mission sets for the airframes they're going to go fly, tend to struggle and wash out.
Finally, flying without an instructor is the most rewarding and also terrifying thing in the entire world.
You're out there on your own and you get that sense of accomplishment that, here you are now, you're doing it.
You've been in the pipeline for almost a year long with instruction, and it's nice to finally be able to breathe and perform on your own.
And then you really start to learn a lot more once that instructor is not there because the pressure's off a little bit. And you start realizing that this is all on you. You are responsible for what you've been entrusted to do.